And our policies in the United States, and by the way, Biden's policies of overturning all of President Trump's immigration restrictions, the migration policy saying you got to stay in Mexico or you got to stay in your country to apply before you enter the United States. It's simple. It's law, you guys. It is a law, and there are laws for reasons. The laws exist so, one, that there's an orderly movement of immigration into the United States, and two, so that we don't benefit and pile billions of dollars into the drug cartels' pockets and human smugglers' pockets. That's what we want to avoid. We do not want people being pawns, not of the drug cartels, not of the human smugglers, and certainly not of our lawmakers. And that's what we've become. That's what these poor, innocent children have become. And by the way, there are some really bad folks. And look, there are good people that are migrating, poor, that need a better life, that are looking for a better life. And there are some really bad apples in there. Really bad apples. When I was in Tijuana, I was at this migration camp right on the border. And by the way, I had to rush in to do an interview with somebody that lived right near this migration camp on the border of San Diego. There were 1,500 plus people in this squalid camp with tents, children everywhere. The man that I interviewed lived in the neighborhood right there and is so frustrated and angry because the Mexican government is refusing to do anything. There are people smoking meth inside the tents with the children. There's MS-13 gang members walking around armed, allegedly, in the camp. One of them actually threatened a reporter the week before with a knife. She was a foreign reporter, apparently from Germany, and she fled the camp, terrified that she was going to be targeted. It's a mess. It's a mess. You can't even imagine what this is like. So you're telling me all these people are sitting in this camp. And guess what's happening there? The NGOs, the non-governmental organizations, people in the United States, and I'm going to have a huge story on this week. I'm doing a lot of investigating into this. We are looking into this with a fine-tooth comb, but there are people that are just out to get the money that Biden has promised. Remember that $4 trillion, right? It's going to go to Central America, going to go to Mexico, going to go to NGOs. And guess what? The more chaos, the more money the Biden administration is going to dole out. Mark my words. A lot of what we are seeing is done purposefully. People want to line their pockets, and they're using human beings to do it. Innocent people and children. Who's going to care for these kids? I went to a shelter, thankfully, a great pastor inside Mexico with the children. I talked to children from Honduras and Guatemala. I talked to their families. They're not living in the squalid camp. They went to go live in this shelter with this pastor. And, they are waiting their turn. Legally, they have applied for asylum and they are waiting their turn. And they are so frustrated because when they're watching the news every single day, all they see is people just crossing the border illegally and then being allowed to stay in America. So if you're doing it legally, they feel like fools. They're like, oh, I must be the biggest fool in the world because if I just cross the border illegally, I'll get to stay.